Hey Dan.
Hey Ryan, how's it going?
Good. Paris Olympics are coming, so still talking about some of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm now thinking of the people I used to work with in the Pacific who will be sending athletes to the games.
Right. Yeah.
Over the years have steadily sent more athletes as more athletes become more qualified.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign, but I'm not sure that it's necessarily achieving what it's meant to achieve in terms of sport development. A lot of our athletes are either going to America or to Australia or some other country where they can get their competitions, on a regular basis leading up to the Olympics.
Right.
So it begs the question about, this: what is it that makes sport successful?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've pondered with for a long time because I've been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's
and
for
things
sure.
have changed in sport.
Yeah.
But one thing remains the same.
What's that?
America keeps winning the medal tally.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much been the case since, forever. In the Summer Olympics, I think that's, has America ever lost a medal tally?
Well, Beijing Olympics, they were second.
Right. But they declared themselves the winner based on gold medal performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, gold medal performance went to China, but overall medals, America won more overall medals.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, the Olympic sort of standard is you take the number of gold first and then silver, then bronze.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Which is okay, although I still have my problems with that. I remember proposing an alternative to that, which got about that far in terms of people discussing it.
What was that?
Well, I just don't feel that a medal is the right way to do it because obviously individual sports have advantages over team sports for a start.
Right.
And if you measure your success by medal tallies, which is what happens, whether we like it or not, even though de Coubertin never suggested it in the original Olympics, the press liked it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we do like it because we want to know who wins.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
the nature of sport, right?
Yeah,
we want to know who wins.
An objective ranking system for nations. Medals. What better metric?
That's right. And you could argue, and the argument's fair, that a medal is a medal. It's an event that somebody has trained for and won, and they won a medal.
Yeah.
Just as in the old days, 3,000 odd years ago, they used to award people with, a laurel wreath, and they were, they could win more than one.
Right.
But in those days, all the sports being played pretty much were individual sports.
Right. Yeah.
In today's Olympics, it's a mixture of team and Olympic sports.
Right, which muddies the waters in terms
sports.
of medal count, success of one nation versus another.
Well, I think it does, and especially if you look at it from the point of view of, say, if you're playing in the basketball tournament or the volleyball tournament or hockey, any one of these team sports, you'll be there for 2 weeks as an athlete, and you'll be competing every day or every second day for the full length of time. And if you're lucky to win a medal, you've worked damn hard for that damn thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then meanwhile, you get more swimmers and track and field athletes, gymnasts, who can win like 8, 9, 10 medals.
Michael Phelps.
In less than the same period of time.
Right, Simone Biles, Michael Phelps, right, the list goes on.
Exactly. So is that the right way? As a metric, I'm not saying we shouldn't discredit the fact that those medalists are superstars.
Of course.
And of course they should be. But is that the right metric to measure success in sport? All right.
Yeah, that's a complicated question.
And then particularly, since the Olympic ideal is not about winning.
Right.
A medal tally was never an Olympic invention, it was a press invention.
Yep.
So it was about wanting to do something to make the Olympics more interesting, I suppose.
Right.
I don't think de Coubertin was that interested in that because, A, he didn't propose that people represent a country for a start. It was everyone should just turn up and be the best you can be and strive for excellence.
Right.
And then the second part was, then if there's no countries competing, why would you need a medal tally? So all of these things constructed over time.
Yeah.
Probably reflecting our tribal nature for a start.
Oh, yeah. This is a trending word in the new sort of modern parlance, modern pop culture parlance, the tribalism. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that's always been normal. Whenever we play sport, we like to make a team. We make a team name. We have a color of our uniform. We try to be different. And that's been pretty much fundamental to sport from day one.
Right.
Whenever you get a team, you eventually, if you play enough, you want to make a team name, and then you want some kind of identity, some sort of color, the branding, all that stuff sort of naturally grows anyway. To me, it's a natural part of sport.
Right, for sure. I agree.
And so this has happened, but now we evolved this thing that's now taken on importance because now funding depends on how many medals you can win.
Yeah, you can almost kind of draw a direct correlation almost between funding and, like finances, economics, and medal count.
Not so much in America because the government doesn't really get involved in that.
America's the exception, I think, in this story,
But they're number one.
Always.
All these other countries doing government funding.
Yeah.
And Britain even will not fund a sport if they don't think they can win a medal.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Withdraw their funding, which I think is what the Olympic ideal is about, taking part, right?
Yeah, and part and parcel too. They've had athletes for these games, the Paris 2024 Summer Games, that qualified in their own right at Olympic trials and are not being sent because the British Olympic Association feels that they don't have a chance to win medals.
Which is crazy, right?
This is like more egregious, I think, than what we're discussing.
I mean, if everybody did that, you think about it. If everybody does that, well, only 3 people are going to go.
Right. I mean,
I think we're going to be the middle. We just go.
If we're talking about probabilities, I mean, you could pick an event like, I mean, I'm a track and field guy, as everyone knows. So you pick the 200 meters, the men's 200 meters. Send one guy, Noah Lyles, is going to win that event, or maybe a couple. You know, there are like 2 or 3 guys that have a chance at winning. So, I mean, if we're going to take it to the brink like that, you know, or why not just do away with the whole thing?
Exactly.
Right?
What's the point? What's the point of competition when you already think you know who's going to win?
Yeah.
And then you only send those guys because they're the ones going to win. You may as well just forget the competition and just award the medal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's defeating the purpose, and it's really kind of perverting the idea of the Olympic spirit too. I think.
I think so too.
These modern sports organizations and these mandates.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the efficacy of medal tallies and whether I think it's a good topic to talk about. But in my career, I guess I had different times and different places. So in Australia, I was a coach and an athlete in the club and state level sort of system. And then I was fortunate enough to get a job at the Australian Institute of Sport.
That's right.
And Tasmanian Institute of Sport for about a 10-year period working as an exercise physiologist.
Yep.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed. But it then led me to start thinking about why the hell are we doing this?
Right.
All right. Now, the Americans have a sports system which to me is organic. It's not falsified in any way. It's the NCAA.
Right.
It's the universities and schools all over the country compete against each other.
Right.
In a variety of sports.
Like a de facto sports system, really, because it's a sports organization, a non-profit college sports organization. It's not really a system per se, but I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Right.
Right.
Now they've got the results.
Yep.
So how is it then that every other country in the world wanted to go the other way, which was create institutes of sport,
right,
or academies of sport, where they focus their attention on talented individuals that they may use TID programs, talent identification programs for, or just use their eyeball and say you're going to be good. Let's turn you into a whatever.
Well, I can pose one theory to you. It's well talked about in the sports literature and in general, sort of from the mid 20th century, the success of the Eastern Bloc nations and their centralized sports apparatus. That they, especially East Germany, a country of only 17 million people, with a system like this where they have different training hubs and a very scientific talent identification and selection process. And again, the results speak for themselves. And I think after that into later years, nations tried to follow suit.
Yeah. Well, I think Australia was guilty of that. I think the 76 Olympics, when Australia didn't win a gold medal for the first time at Olympic Games, everyone pressed the panic button, and next thing you know, 5 years later, we've got an AIS, the Australian Institute of Sport. I was living in Canberra at the time when it was being built, going, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is great. Science can come together. We get the best athletes there, train them, and of course we'll get results. And of course we did. and other countries have done the same thing. But no one's still catching America in terms of medal tallies.
Yeah, I mean,
and and so I think there's a really good debate to be had as to why that is the case. And it's not just because America's big, because bigger countries aren't beating America. Right. India doesn't win any medals, hardly any medals at the Olympic, and they're going to be, if not already, the highest population in the world.
Right.
Indonesia, which is in the top 4, doesn't win very many gold medals or any medals.
Right, a higher population than America. In Indonesia.
Absolutely, 400,000 or varies. You hear 400 million. I mean, you hear anything from 280 to 400 and something million. But
right, so at least on par with America's population,
absolutely.
Which is 350 million-ish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
America is a big country, but you know what America's got, I think,
what's that?
Is that they harness that youth sport market.
Right.
All right. So the people who are winning the medals are what age?
Like post-college or in college,
and even 16. You know, you get,
for sure.
You get your gymnasts and some of your people at that age who are young enough. Before the restrictions were put in, of course, they were even younger than that. But now that there are age restrictions at Olympic Games, it's kind of 16 through to 25.
Yeah.
Is your bulk of where the people are winning medals. Of course, there are older ones who win medals, and it's not. But let's agree that you could say 80 to 90% of the medal winners are in that sort of 16 to 25 age group.
That's a fair estimate, I think. Yeah.
Which kind of is in that high school to college, university group.
Yeah.
And then those of you that then are successful in sport may continue on and do your sport either as an amateur making money or as a professional. And if you're not, you'll go and get a real life.
Right.
Right, as some people would tell you.
Yeah.
So give up the sporting, that was great fun, now I'm going to become a doctor, lawyer, some kind of career engineer, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was, and I think it still is. Because if you look at the people who are competing in America, they will make their decision when they finish college.
Yeah.
Right, so if they're good enough to play for the university team, that means they're competing, is it 1,100 or 11,000?
11,000.
So it's about 11,000 colleges. That's a massive competition.
Yeah, like altogether, NCAA Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, and NAIA altogether, so I think it's around 11,000.
11,000. Yeah. So effectively, we've got 11,000 sporting bodies that are producing athletes across a range of sports.
Yeah, like mini sports systems. Yeah. And they all compete against each other.
And they're competing all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there's criticisms. We could talk about that in another podcast, of course. But at the end of the day, you can't argue that it's been successful, not only in producing lots of athletes across a number of sports, because there's an awful lot of medals won by Americans in sports where you don't even really hear about it in America outside of college.
Right, yeah.
They don't really get played. But these people are doing really well, but at the same time, sport's doing its job for those universities and high schools.
Yep.
It's creating identity. People are proud to be from the UOA or Pepperdine College or Harvard Golf or whoever. They are proud to wear the letters.
You used the word tribal mentality earlier. Yeah.
So it sort of plays on that, doesn't it? I am, and you hear, the terms better than I do, but whether it's ice hockey or the basketball team or the football team, they are the something or others.
Right, yeah.
Right?
The Wisconsin Badgers, the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, they've all got names and they have a brand and people relate to that brand. So sport's doing its job there.
Yeah.
And they're competing, which gives them something to train for. And therefore, they're producing results.
Right. Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, and I can't quote this, and I should have probably done my research properly before talking to you today, but in the 90s I remember somebody quoting, I think it was at the Atlanta Olympics, that somewhere in the vicinity of 80% of the medals won, either all medals won or gold medals won, were won by people who had competed in the NCAA.
That is a significant stat right there.
Pretty significant stat, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean,
and that's all countries then, sending athletes there.
Yeah, even if it were 50%, I think that'd be considerable.
Yeah. But this is more than that. So it was like, okay, this confirms what I thought all along. I've never been a fan of institutionalized sport. I used to work in the AIS and I'd see these 7, 8, 9-year-old gymnasts.
Yeah.
Why are you here? You should be home with your parents, not in a dormitory training 3 times a week, 3 times a day, you know, eating not much food and doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Why? Why was that happening?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they be in gymnastics clubs all over the country competing regularly? And then that competition being the motivation for them to do the training that they want.
You know, like that kind of leads me to a point that you've made several times to me, and I think once in this podcast, these athletes in the NCAA are competing against each other. The top athletes in these sports, the top amateur athletes in these sports worldwide are competing against each other weekly, or you know, sometimes like twice a week, the best of the best. And I remember you talking about, and this has been a point of emphasis for you with lacrosse coaching, is competing, like getting into competitions and going head to head and getting into game shape and getting into that competition mentality. And that's what's happening in the NCAA on a regular basis. These top athletes, amateur athletes from around the world are going head to head all the time.
That's right. So they know all the games, all the mind games.
Exactly. It's a kind of, the system fuels itself. The talent development part of it, because they're developing as they go and becoming real fierce competitors, or at least the ones with the right constitution.
Well, I think if you look anywhere, you know, if you look in, even if you take it out of America and you look in, say, New Zealand, where they play rugby,
right?
And the All Blacks have arguably one of the most successful international sports teams in history,
right?
In any sport,
can't dispute that.
Something like an 80% win rate or something like that.
Yeah.
But the culture of rugby in New Zealand is phenomenal. And it's probably second to nowhere in the world, with the possible exception of South Africa.
Yeah.
Although even in South Africa, it's split because, you know, the apartheid era, one population preferred football.
Right.
And the other was rugby.
Yeah.
Whereas in New Zealand, it's pretty much rugby. You play rugby first, and you play it at primary school, high school, university, and there's lots of competition all the way up through that system. And they're just an All Black factory, a rugby playing factory. They produce player after player. Fiji, that doesn't even have a real structure, a viable structure for the sport, the kings of sevens rugby. They've won 2 Olympic gold medals.
Right,
in rugby.
They won in Tokyo also, right?
Yeah, and even their women won a bronze medal in Tokyo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
So it's like, no, but there's no systematic rugby development program. They have attempts at it, but there's a hell of a lot of rugby played.
Right.
A lot of sevens tournaments, but there's a lot of informal rugby which is played like sevens, you know, just flinging the ball around with a few fellas.
Yeah.
Could be on the beach, could be on the road, could be anywhere.
But it's sort of competition, even nevertheless. Maybe it's not that structured, but it's competition.
Brazil's football was based on this.
Right. Yeah, like football in the street.
Football.
Yeah.
And having that, you had to be that was one way for you to get out of your poverty, was just to have this incredible football skill.
Yeah.
And get recognised and then be taken off into the world of football.
Right, yeah.
But they're producing top footballers without all the fancy academies that you see in Europe and the UK in particular.
America now too.
And America now.
It's an upcoming sport.
But why do they need to do that? Just stick it in the NCAA.
Yeah.
And grow it there. Yeah. And give it the same kind of profile that some of the other sports will have.
If they did, I think America, you would see in quick succession America becoming a major player in international football. So. But right now they're kind of a afterthought almost. Their teams. I mean, their women's team different. I'm talking about men's football.
Yeah.
Right?
There's so many sports, and of course the best male athletes are going into those other sports before they'll try football.
Right, because that's where the money is, maybe.
That's where the money is, and that's where the status is.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the grassroots, that's what they're used to. That's what they've grown up playing as well. And I mean, there's a lot of different factors.
We have a similar situation in Australia with Australian rules football.
Oh, yeah.
And rugby league in the eastern states, in Queensland and New South Wales in particular.
Yeah.
The better athletes will tend to migrate to those sports because there's a cultural aspect. You're a bit of a hero if you're good in those sports.
Right.
and ultimately there's money in Australia in those sports.
Yeah.
Football is growing.
Yeah.
But once again, Australian rules football didn't develop out of academies.
Right.
It developed out of competitions. So I look at countries like China, for example, and I look at Eastern Bloc countries where they institutionalize their sport. And I can't help thinking that they're missing a trick here. You imagine if China, we now live here, we see all these beautiful universities, fantastic sports facilities.
Here at CDU in particular, it's just, it was amazing. It's
Absolutely
just
amazing. Rival even American universities, many of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you don't really see a lot of inter-university sport. And it's not a big deal. But if there is a game, some of the people on campus might support it, but the majority wouldn't even know it was on.
There certainly isn't mass fandom like in the NCAA, that's for sure.
And the two things feed off each other, I think. Like, I know as a volleyball player, when I thought maybe one day I might be good at it, but I was never going to be. But in my own mind, I thought I could be.
You were pretty close.
I was all right, but I wasn't, as an old coach of mine said, good but not great.
Okay, that's a backhanded compliment if there ever was one.
I used to say that to everybody, so it's okay. I didn't take it personally.
Okay.
But I think, I always used to think, gosh, if I was playing in America, and I thought to go, I actually applied to go to the University of Michigan, and I got in there, not on a volleyball scholarship. I was going to go and do a master's and PhD there.
That's right, I remember you mentioning that.
But back in my mind, I'm thinking I can play volleyball there, and I'll get a chance to play in front of crowds.
Yeah.
Because in Australia, no one watches you. In those days, at least, no one ever watched any club games.
Yeah.
But if I was playing there, I'd maybe get 1,000 people watching.
Yeah, or more, yeah.
And there'd be, after-match parties, and there'd be all the stuff that goes around that unless you're playing high-level sport, you'd never get to see.
Right, yeah.
Right? Or never get to experience. So in many countries, I think, compared to America, they have the disadvantage of playing in sports systems that don't provide that whole culture and that whole atmosphere, the development of tribalism.
Right, yeah.
The establishment of, supporters that then follow your team around and do all that sort of stuff, where you could experience that. So that then by the time you get to, if you are good enough to play for your country, if you can even find the pathway, because it's not even clear what the pathway is.
And maybe there are multiple pathways for certain sports.
In many sports, and they're not clear because at the end of the day, it could be whoever's coaching the team will just pick family members and relatives that they know, or people that they know from their part of the country.
I think this is ever present, pretty much across all sports in the selection process. It doesn't matter what system you're in, right?
Although it's a bit more transparent in America because once again, they're competing in the NCAA.
Yep.
And you are going to probably pick your team from the best teams that will make the finals. And they're the ones that will appear. And you're kind of going to pick them. And that doesn't mean to say there's thousands and thousands of people that aren't playing in those teams that couldn't be good enough to represent the country.
Right.
But this is the reality. I mean, if you're a winner, you've got a better chance to be selected.
Right, and these programs go to great lengths to find these athletes too. And, and routinely violate NCAA guidelines in terms of recruiting, and they'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the best team.
They essentially have unlimited resources to do so too. As hard as they want to recruit is how they recruit. Right? There's no limitations.
So I guess I think, working in the Pacific was the same. We would put money into one or two athletes, using Olympic Solidarity funding mainly, or whatever we could find. And you fund one or two athletes, and you'll send them somewhere where they can get competition and maybe better coaching.
Yeah.
Very rarely have I seen any of those athletes come back to their country and inspire other people to do the sport. So that justification goes out the window.
Right. In terms of the long-term benefits of this.
Exactly. What I did see though was the potential effect of a successful athlete. And I saw that in Tonga when Pio Wolfgram won his silver medal in 1996.
In boxing.
Yeah, and he came back and the whole country went berserk.
Yeah.
And there was so much demand for boxing. And the boys all wanted to box. Even some of the women liked to think that they could go out and do some boxing too.
Nice.
which they probably do at home anyway, but,
but
to do it properly, yeah, exactly. It was there, but there was no sports system in place to be able to accommodate it. So in fact, it didn't work for Tonga.
Right.
So the justification of putting the money into Paia was there because he won the medal and he put Tonga on the map. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But in terms of developing the sport, it didn't work.
Yeah.
What should have happened is that he should have been the product of a sports system. What should have been in the case should have been, there should have been 100 or so boxing clubs around Tonga, fighting every week against each other.
Yeah.
And out of that, you're producing the top bunch that you then put your team together to qualify for the Olympics and then go and try and win a medal.
Right.
And then that would feed that system back again,
Right.
and continue to grow it.
Yeah, but he returned to a Tonga that didn't have a system to speak of, and I mean, it
So
kind of
there's no
just
benefit.
became a footnote in history, really.
That's right. I mean, there are Tongan athletes that excel in rugby, rugby league, rugby union.
Yeah.
They're heroes in Tonga, but are they having a big effect on the way the sport's played in the country? Not much.
Right.
And some of that's to do with the systemic nature of sport, or not.
Yeah, or lack thereof. Right. Yeah.
And yet, even in a country like Tonga, they've seen the evidence of youth sport. The school athletics championships in Tonga, Fiji, Samoa, arguably the biggest sports events of the year.
Oh, is that right?
The whole country comes and watches it because
Okay.
it's just a big thing. It's a huge thing, and that's for athletics.
Okay.
But it's only that tournament. It's only that event.
So there's only one, or I mean, maybe a few regional meets leading up to it, qualification
not
meets.
even. No, they just do it.
Oh, they just send the kids
and
to
they
the
just
big
have this
one.
big festival. And Fiji, who have dominated athletics in the Pacific for the last 20, 30 years, other than for New Caledonia, and Tahiti, who have French backing and a bit more systematic development, have traditionally won these regional competitions with the winners of the school sports.
Right. Yeah.
And once again, I'm thinking, it's competition. There's no doubt the schools then train their athletes because it's such a lot of status to win something at these events. So they put the effort into training these athletes for about 3 months, which is better than nothing. All right, but imagine if they had like 4 competitions, 3 months apart.
Yeah, that's
or
not
with
even
a
enough. But
it's
that'd be a
not
start.
enough. But that would keep you training all year round, right?
Yeah,
And
for
training
sure.
with a purpose.
Yeah.
So what I couldn't understand is with institutionalization of sport, is why they would expect, and I'm not putting it down because sure they've been successful.
Yeah, this
Right.
is a dominant system worldwide. Yeah.
Absolutely. Those athletes are training every day, they're getting the best technical support, the best coaching, the best nutrition, the best whatever's available. But if they don't get to compete enough, then even they won't be successful.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they've got to go somewhere and compete now, whether that's regional championships, whether that's world championships, Olympic games. Fortunately, in today's world, there's enough international competition to satisfy and support those institutions.
Yes, for sure.
There is. And so maybe it is the right way to do it now. But I still think we're missing a trick. Because if I look at, you mentioned the lacrosse program, we're training a team here. Nice kids, all of them, training really hard.
Some good athletes in there.
Good athletes, really good athletes. But you can just see, we've trained them how to catch, throw, some moves, but they haven't played.
Yeah.
And they'll go to a national championship in about 2 weeks' time. And I'm sorry, but I think they'll probably get thrashed.
Yeah, based on what I saw the last time I was out. I guess it was on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, again, really a lot of naturally gifted athletes out there for sure, but you could tell they were not match fit. I mean, I have no background in lacrosse and really no point of reference here, but I mean, they're before halftime even hit, these guys the quality of play was significantly diminished, and these guys are just gassed. And there's a few different factors there, not just match fitness, but passing and things like that, right?
Their skills fall apart, but even their emotional control is not there.
Yeah.
So stuff that you get even playing casually in the park with your mates, you might get a bit heated sometimes, but you learn how to control that.
Right.
Because you've got to, otherwise you're not going to lose. And if you don't play enough, I don't think you get that.
Yeah.
And this is why I think the NCAA might be, it's been staring us in the face all along, that that's the right system.
Yep.
It targets the right people, 16 to 24, 25, right?
Yep.
So instead of people being sent to uni like in China, the attitude is, oh, sport's a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right? So the parents want their children to be doctors, lawyers, teachers, government workers, whatever.
Right.
All very fine, but there's an awful lot of top-level athletes that have become doctors, lawyers, teachers, engineers, and all these kinds of people too.
At the expense of the sports system, of course.
Yeah, but no, they've been successful in both.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're top sports people and still can have careers.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely possible.
That's just life management. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a choice. It's not you be a top sportsman or you be an engineer. You can be both.
Absolutely.
You can be both. In fact, it's probably beneficial to athletes to have something else other than just sport that they can aspire to, because your sporting life doesn't go forever, and being able to transition into something else. And
Yeah.
we even have these athlete transition programs now.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
This
And
is-
in professional leagues too, not just the Olympic movement. They're everywhere.
This is now something that I just go, what? It's another one of those women in sport commissions.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one we were talking about the other day? The need for these commissions, athlete commissions.
Athlete commissions.
But to me, this is a symptom of the breakdown of a system.
It's posterity, right? Like we're doing our due diligence. We're giving athletes a voice in that case, right? Or yeah. I mean, it's like these are created after the fact, sort of, to say we've done all we can.
Yeah.
And with like the athlete transition programs, I mean, it's like, again, it's like reactionary. All these policies, that's kind of the way I see it. Is
I agree.
there's a problem, it's common and it's systemic, and we're at least going to act like we're doing something about it.
So NCAA, theoretically anyway, and we know it's been abused,
Yeah.
addresses this already. Student athletes, right? They're being high-level athletes. They're competing all the time. And look, there's 11,000 colleges. Very small percentage of those guys get to represent the USA.
Oh yeah.
Or
Very
become professional athletes. But there's a hell of a lot of really good ones that probably potential world champions that never even got the chance to do it.
Yeah.
But they went on and became doctors, lawyers, teachers, other people.
Yeah, maybe for the better. Maybe that's the right career decision.
It's all right.
Because how much money can you
But
make?
they had the opportunity to do that, didn't they?
Right.
Through the student sport system.
Yeah, something to fall back on.
Yeah, you're
Maybe.
doing a degree, studying at university, you're training twice a day, you're competing every week. You learn to manage your life. Hey, there's been problems, but we only seem to focus on the problem ones. What about the thousands and thousands of athletes that have come through that system successfully?
Yeah.
Successfully either as athletes in terms of their performance, which again can only be a small percentage. I think people forget that, it's less than 1% of people win.
Yeah. For
Right?
sure.
Become the best. Everybody can't be the best.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
that's not the purpose of sport, in my view.
I agree. Absolutely. And yeah, like Dick Huberton's original vision was sport for the world,
Striving
sport
for
for all, striving for excellence, but participation, right? I think, when you were talking there, I was thinking about, and by the way, I mean, this sort of, he's an aberration, but Tim Duncan, the great NBA basketball player, did a full stint, did all his eligibility. I can't remember where he went to school, but in the process, so playing essentially professional basketball in the NCAA, he got a business degree. He did both.
Yeah.
Graduated with honors.
Yeah.
It is possible, right?
Possible,
He was a great young man and just an exceptional person in general. But still, I mean, there is success stories like this all over the place.
So America even got that right.
Yep.
They put a system together, probably not consciously.
Stumbled ass backwards into this.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we like this idea that we can compete all the time, and then each of these programs evolved into something quite elite. Like if you went to one of the top colleges in America, I'm quite sure you'll see something that rivals any sports institute anywhere in the world.
Some of these facilities, you would well, you've seen some, I'm sure. They're crazy. Like how advanced they are, the technology, and the quality of everything too. Tracks being resurfaced every couple of years.
Yep, well maintained, everything.
Just, yeah.
But not only that, they're not only working with athletes. Because of the competitions, they are developing expertise in coaching.
Right.
So how many coaches are there in America?
Yeah.
There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
Thousands. And they're getting paid, which is kind of cool. I wish I'd got paid for my coaching.
You got paid some along the way.
I got paid for coach education.
Yeah.
Not for coaching teams. I got paid for doing courses to teach other people how to coach.
Yeah.
And it certainly gave me opportunities to ultimately do what I'm doing now. But I never actually got paid to coach because I was not in a sport where that was a thing.
Right.
Right? It is more now, but it wasn't in those days. So you think all these people are coaching. You've got people who know how to organize competitions.
Yeah.
You get people with high levels of expertise in competitional organization, high levels of expertise in facilities and facility management, facility maintenance.
Yeah.
All right. You know, these schools employ huge numbers of people to maintain their facilities.
Yeah.
So it's a source of employment, but it's also a source of developing human capital across a range of areas.
Right. Yeah.
Sports administration. Okay. You know, we can do degrees in sports administration till we're coming out of our ears, but where are they going to administer?
Right.
In America, all these semi-professional programs as well as the professional ones, where people can find jobs.
Yep.
But in other countries, they're probably going to apply their work voluntarily, like idiot me, who would work with a voluntary sector sport club and help them on the board and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, why did we get this so wrong? Why did we focus all our attention? I just saw last week, and everybody's applauding because the Prime Minister of Australia is pledging another 200 and something odd million dollars to the AIS and to ensure that our elite sport programs continue. Yeah, okay, that's nice, and it's nice if you're one of those elite athletes. But what about the thousands and thousands of ones that would like to be an elite athlete but have got nowhere to do it?
Right. You know, I think like with the American system and the NCAA, I think of timelines. I think of it this way. So we can agree that the NCAA grew at a very fast rate, say in the latter half of the 20th century, right? Many more sports, many more athletes, quality of competition, et cetera. And this is sort of the Cold War era in the Olympic movement as well. And the prevailing system, or the best system, you know, for that was conducive to success, was that centralized top-down sports system with like different sports hubs, organizations around the country, like East Germany, the Soviet Union. And by the time maybe that, you know, or as time went on, pardon me, the NCAA grew to a point where its size and strength and economics precluded any competitors, any other college systems within nations coming up and challenging or rivaling the NCAA. It just became so big that it vanquished all other possibilities around it in terms of any similar systems existing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because one of the criticisms of American sport is that its club sport hasn't been developed.
Right.
Now, this is a very European perspective because their system is club-based.
Yeah.
Right, and not university and school-based. So, stupid criticism though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they've got all of these people competing hard in excellent programs, thousands of them, not just one or two in the country.
Yeah.
11,000 of them.
Yeah.
All right. Plus, does that include the high schools?
Yeah, no.
So you add the high schools to that too.
Oh, it's like probably triple that number then, or more, or
So
quadruple
you've
that
got
number.
systematic programs where people are learning to become athletes, and the majority of them, as in real life, won't become career athletes.
Yeah.
You hope that a lot of them will continue to play, but in America, that's one of the criticisms that once you leave college, there isn't anywhere to play.
Right.
Because the club system isn't developed. It's a realistic criticism, of course, but at the same time, don't forget people that get on and have their real life, right? They're finding careers, they're having families, and the cycle continues because now the new fathers and mothers are now bringing their children into the system and putting them into the mini leagues, into the high school programs, and getting them into college.
Right.
So it perpetuates that way.
Yeah, and also, I mean, those athletes, like there are clubs in America, but I mean, it's not like in the UK and in Canada, et cetera, sports clubs, right? But you have to think, after 5 years of competing against top athletes and using all of eligibility, if you haven't made it at that point, you're probably not going to make it anyway, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, yeah, this system breeds success, a sink or swim kind of dynamic, right?
Yeah, there's somewhere I read that they say that your career span in top level is between 6 and 8 years.
Yep.
And it takes you between 6 and 8 years to get to that level, and then you're there for about 6 to 8 years, and that's it.
Yeah, I think NFL, American football, when I think of this. I mean, the NCAA, in particular with football, is very professional. It's like a professional league, especially in the more competitive conferences, like the Big 12 and SEC, those two conferences, right? So that's like essentially these players are going through 4 years of professional football and then graduating to the NFL for typically a short career, right? Yeah. Because they've already been war-torn and hardened by 4 years of professional football.
And they might not make it. But again, people criticize this, but this is the normal attritional nature of sport anyway.
Yeah.
You know, the old Derek Casey derived pyramid of sport, where you have your participation base and then you work your way up, and by the time you get to the top, the point. It's a good model, although in speaking to him, which I had the pleasure to do on many occasions, he didn't think it was a great model, but I disagreed with him. I said, look, it reflects exactly what sport is.
He didn't fancy his own model?
No, he didn't really like it. He thought it was deficient for a number of reasons. And another podcast we could talk, maybe we could invite him on one day and talk about it.
It's a good heuristic, though, to understand how these systems work.
I think it is, because you do start with a big base.
Yeah.
But sport, even though we talk about the inclusivity of sport, it is actually naturally exclusive in nature, because winners progress and losers drop out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Good sports systems enable you to find the level and stay there. So if we are promoting a lifelong participation in sport, which is a very big thing in the UK and other countries around the world that are promoting this idea that we want people to establish a lifelong affinity to sport.
Canada as well has a similar system.
So it's good, because for health benefits and mental, social and physical health, you do want people to play sport. But that means finding your level.
Right.
If your sports system only focuses on the winners and the rest leave, then you won't have anybody doing sport.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure has to provide for both. It's got to be there to encourage people to get into sport, and then as people work up the system, you can see it naturally. As you get better, there'll be less people.
Yeah.
And at the top level, you've only got arguably less than 1% of the world's sports people are elite.
Oh, it's less than 1% for sure.
So why are we so concerned about that? That's normal. We know this. So our job then is to ensure that people have somewhere to play their sport at whatever level they are.
Yeah.
And enjoy it at whatever level they are.
Yeah.
And if you're a darts player that can't even hit the board, then you're playing that with other guys that have trouble hitting the board. Then imagine the whoops and yells when somebody does hit the board. It's no different to if you win the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's all relative, and it's about finding those levels that everyone can enjoy and make it so that it's something. I think America does this quite well, at least in terms of college sport. Although I do agree with that criticism that maybe more could be done to provide community level sport that keeps people going, at least in some level. In America, from what I get from my movies, I don't know enough about America, so you can correct me here, please.
Yeah.
But what I see is that the people who did love their sport will get projected onto their kids.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they'll become either coaches or supporters of a mini league or.
Oh wait, living vicariously through their kids. I think that's kind of like a worldwide thing.
It is a worldwide
for sure,
thing.
But Americans certainly, and especially with football.
What would be good? Well, what would be good is if parents go along to watch their mini league and support their kids. Are also that group of parents could be encouraged to play in some kind of social competition at the same time, or at a level which they're all comfortable to play.
Yeah.
That would then provide that them to play their sport as well as support their kids as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But then again, they'll be screaming at the screen right now saying, yeah, but we're too busy, we're earning money, we've got careers, mortgages to pay.
It's a cop-out in my opinion. There's always time for this kind of thing.
I think
for physical activity.
There is, and I think there's, although maybe not for a competitive sport per se, we do see a rise in people doing recreational activities. So swimming and walking and leisure hiking and stuff like that, cycling.
Pickleball, that's a new thing now.
Yeah,
pickleball movement.
Pickleball, yeah. I heard.
Yeah.
So these are all great, and so every component of sport has an important role to play. And I just can't help thinking that the NCAA got it right, even though they didn't think about it.
Yeah, as it turned out, it was right. They were right. Yeah.
And everyone else, I'm sorry to say, you got it wrong, folks.
Yeah.
All the governments out there, and it's governments, right? Governments looking for a short-term success strategy, which institutes will give you, no doubt. You put the best athletes you've got into one place. And I remember with the AIS, there was a particular success strategy because you had a lot of struggling athletes that weren't getting support, who had struggled for years. And you put them in the institute, and they did very well very quickly. But the next generation didn't. The ones who never struggled, that just got a free ride into that level, they didn't do so well. And it sort of goes, it ebbs and flows. Right? If you've got enough talent to feed into that institutionalized system, then you'll get continued success. But where does that talent come from? And if you've destroyed the base of the people striving, so in swimming, for example, in the early days of swimming, there used to be lots of swimming clubs, right? With squads training twice a day, right? Just squad, and they weren't part of a state team or anything else. They were just a squad, and they trained, and then the best ones obviously would end up swimming for the state, and then they were good enough they'd swim for Australia. A lot of that's died now because all of the states have a state swimming institute, and then you've got the national institute. So unless you go there, you already know if you're one of these swimmers, you're nothing for me. So they tend to quit earlier. Plus you lose your coaching base, and the regular competitions that used to happen don't happen so often. As a volleyball player in Australia, I was playing close to 80 matches a year.
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
Which is a lot.
That's great though. I mean,
I loved it. A couple of league games, so one or two leagues in the city that we played in. And then tournaments every couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, we play 4 or 5 games. And but in today's Australian volleyball, you don't see that anymore. People aren't organising those tournaments. Everything is about. No one pays to play. No one's motivated enough to want to pay to go to a tournament and give up a weekend to play their sport. It has to be, well, can you pay me to go? And is it at this level where I can, we're seeing a big drop-off in people who are just stupid like me, to want to train every day and compete, and because you love the sport, no other reason. And if you happen to be good enough to get into a team, well, that's great. But if not, you still want to play because you're going to a tournament and having a good time, and meeting people with a like sort of mentality.
The
NCAA does that too.
Absolutely.
Right? It's there, isn't it? Because again, you've got your top colleges where the top athletes are, but all the other colleges down the ranks, well, they're competing against guys kind of the same ability.
For sure. You like Div 1, Div 2, and different conferences have different sort of ability levels too, like SEC versus
and they get
Big
to
12.
know each other, and they become lifelong friends or lifelong enemies or whatever.
For sure.
Part of the human condition.
Competition builds character. And adversity, like you were talking about too, builds character, right?
So I just would like to suggest then, and now that I live in China, and of course I can't suggest anything to the people in China, but I just think from my own experience, imagine if this country had a viable and efficient school sport, inter-school sport program that led into an intercollegiate, inter-university program across all their sports.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they'd be producing. Yeah?
You know what? Yeah, I can't imagine. And you know what? And like we've talked about here, in China, if the government wants to get something done, boom, it gets
happen.
done.
Yeah.
Bureaucratic prioritization and money. That's all it would take. Just those two things.
Yeah.
And Chinese government can snap their fingers and get things done. They could create an NCAA-like system here in short succession. It would be short order.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see it too.
I'd love to see it because then sport also satisfies its other roles. I'm not just thinking about the potential for elite success.
Yeah.
Right. But that, to me, clearly, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
America is proving it year in, year out, and people are stubbornly ignoring this.
Yeah.
In fact, they're looking for ways to criticize the system that's producing these people.
I've seen it too. Yeah.
You know, they're saying it's this and that, and they're exploiting athletes and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's taken them how many years to get to this point? Now that they're successful, we love to pull people back when they're being so successful, right?
Yeah.
And yes, you can argue that football players should be getting paid. I don't think so. I think it's part of the character building of an athlete to do it for nothing.
Yeah.
If you go into sport too early, expecting to be paid, expecting to have everything given to you, you're actually losing one of the functions of sport.
Right.
Which is to build your character, to make sacrifices, to make choices.
Yeah.
You know, to say, I would rather train than go out drinking with my mates.
Yeah.
I can always go out after.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
After training, I'll go out with my mates.
And they are making money too. I mean, like tuition paid for, room and board, et cetera, and other stipends
It's an
and financial
apprenticeship.
benefits. Yeah.
And if they're good enough, they'll get a lucrative professional career.
Yeah, and the ones that are really good, they end up doing 2 years or 3 years in college and then turning professional.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's again, I think it's a fantastic feature of the system. I would, if the NCAA gives in to that professional mantra, I think that could see it dissolve. I think it could actually break the system.
Yeah, and it's sort of trending in that direction right now.
Yeah.
With the O'Bannon case back in 2011, and then moving forward, you have athletes suing for their image rights and suing for.
Well, I think they should. I think athletes should have image rights.
Yeah.
But to be paid to play already at a young age before you've done your time, you know, like you've got to do your time. In Australia, we'd say you've got to do your time on the bench, mate.
Yeah.
And then you get your opportunity and you go for it.
We can go toe-to-toe on the pay-for-play thing in another podcast too.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you on the pay-for-play thing, but there are some cogent counter-arguments out there that have some validity, some merit. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's a shame. It's better if people can be supported. If you're going to sacrifice your time and your effort, providing it's a real sacrifice, then you shouldn't have to pay as well.
Yeah.
I certainly did. Cost me thousands of dollars over the years, but I wouldn't expect other people to do that now.
And from what I gather, you wouldn't change a thing, because sport.
But I wouldn't. Well, unless of course there was another way building into the system of still sacrificing something. You're not sacrificing if all you get is benefit.
Yep.
There's no sacrifice, right?
And that's part of like the kind of foundations of the Olympic movement too, is like that the redemption, like the redeeming quality of sacrifice and suffering, right?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds very masochistic, I suppose, but sports people are a bit like that.
Yeah.
You've got to learn how to push through pain, adversity, and so on. Some of my very good friends from the early days, the stories they'll tell you of the sacrifices they had to make to be a top athlete, selling their house, marrying somebody who was of similar ability to them, and then one of them having to give up their career to support the other one.
Oh, I've heard some of these stories.
There's pros and cons, because ideally they shouldn't have had to sell their house, and their partner should have had the opportunity to also be a top athlete.
Yeah.
But then there's the other part of sport, which is character building. It's the stuff that they talk about in philosophy that is slowly being eroded from it, in my view, by just giving sport far too much reward, people too much reward too early.
Right.
Or for it coming, and on that matter, there's another podcast.
Yeah.
I also don't think that all the reward should just go to the top guys.
Right, yeah.
So we have the situation in tennis where if you're outside the top 100 in the world, then you're really struggling.
You're making the crumbs, as they say.
So nice for a while that you should have to prove yourself that you're willing to sacrifice, but at some point there has to be a better distribution of wealth.
Yeah.
You know, why should the top guy win $3 million in a tournament?
There is a major disparity.
Everyone else is getting like $100.
Yeah.
And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's an imperfect system there.
And we see this across different sports. Golf, you know, tennis are the two obvious examples. But you do see it too in professional sport, where the top teams, the top players are paying out the biggest salaries.
Yep.
They self-perpetuate then, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
And so the little guys never get a chance to get in.
They're fighting a major uphill battle to get to those upper tiers.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, the best players, they produce a really good player and
And that is yet another podcast we could get into.
Another podcast. There's so many things.
Salary caps and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, sport, to me, I'm an idealist in sport, just so you know.
I believe
so. I can be naive. I'm not naive because I'm aware.
Yeah, see, that's the key to it right there. Yeah.
I do understand the other side of it, but I also value the beauty of sport and what it can do.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be an athlete to get those benefits. You could be a coach. You could be that club administrator that spends 30 years of your life just rolling out the competitions every Saturday afternoon for the kids. You know, and getting that's your sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And contribution to the community.
But for the ones who love it, like yourself, it's not much of a sacrifice.
It's not a sacrifice. It's a choice, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
People would see it as a sacrifice. Why you give up to do that? You know.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I like to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You choose to do that. That's it's prioritized.
Sacrifice shouldn't be seen as a negative when we talk about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a choice you make because you love somebody. I guess at the end of the day, it's the choice you make when you decide you find the woman or man of your life and you're going to marry that one. Right? There's your choice.
Yeah.
And ideally, then you stick with that choice, but it doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
But you do your best, you know, to do that.
Yeah.
And I think sport has that potential to teach people or provide the avenue for people to learn how to make those kind of choices.
Yeah, for sure. Like sport builds people. It builds strong, resilient people, strong and confident people too.
I think for me, sport let me down in some ways because, unfortunately for me, I was reasonably good in a lot of sports. So I didn't make a choice until very late.
Yeah.
And even then, I didn't really make a choice. I was very easily distracted because I could just go there and go there or go there.
That double-edged sword, having natural athletic ability, you know, I guess it was counterproductive for you in a sense.
Yeah, I think it was Charlie Brown who once said, "There's no greater burden than a great ability." I'd like to think that was my problem.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
We'd all like to think that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we've probably done that one, but if you have any comments on that, we'd love to see them when you get the chance to see this podcast. Love to get your thoughts on what you think the best sporting system is and what the purpose of sport really is. Beyond the entertainment, beyond the gold medal winning athletes, beyond the superstars, there's another substructure there.
And feel free to disagree if you take a critical stance on some of the discussion topics we've had today. And if
should taxpayers' money be spent on institutionalized sport?
That could almost be another podcast right there. We're on a roll today.
Yeah, we could be, but I think I take my hats off to America. I wish all countries well for Paris, but I'm a big fan of the NCAA and high school sport in America, and I do believe that's the reason they're so successul, and long may it continue.
Hard to argue with that, that's for sure. All right, so I guess we're all done, and until next time, we've got many more topics to cover in this in the fray here. So,
we love sport.
that's for sure. Honestly, I could talk about this all day. Yeah. Anyways, signing off.
Signing off.